Good day everyone. Today, I will discuss the global city. When you think of the world today, you don't just think of countries, you think of power hubs. Welcome to the age of the global city. The concept initially emerged in the 1980s, right as globalization began to rewrite the rules of how we live. But the global city is not just a big town, it's the physical and geographic playground for the forces of globalization. It's where the world's money, people, and wildest ideas are not just passing through, they are part of everyday life itself. So what makes a city global? It's not about size, it's about influence. A global city transcends the borders of its own nation-state. What happens in the boardroom of London or tech hub of Tokyo shapes the values and trend of the entire planet. In short, these cities are the command centers of the world economy. They don't just follow the world's lead, they lead the world. Global city represent both the best and the worst of globalization. Sassin described a polarization of income. On one end, you have the elite professional class, the high-flying CEOs and experts. But their lifestyle creates a massive demand for an army of low-paid workers. We're talking about the people who keep the city running, the cleaners, the delivery drivers, the barista, and the caregivers. A global city is a place of incredible wealth, but it's also a place where the gap between the well-off and the essential is most visible. In the end, a global city is a living, breathing contradiction. It's a center of ultimate power and a site of deep inequality. It is the heart of our contemporary world. Next time you walk through a major metropolis, look past the skyscrapers and see the flows of the world's happening right in front of you.